So my name is Venkat. I have 14 years of experience in telecom IT software. Okay, out of 14 years, around 5 years I have experience on RPA tools. Let me make it in bigger so that it will be visible. Okay, out of 5 years, 4.5 years I worked on RPA automations UiPath tool, and the remaining 6 months I worked on Blue Prism tool as well. Okay. We have many other tools in the market along with the UiPath and Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism, but they are the major three tools using in industry. Before I go to the details of UiPath concepts, I just want to introduce myself. So I'm just telling my experience and the tools I have in automation area. And this is my Gmail, venkat.rpa.ai@gmail.com, and this is WhatsApp number. This WhatsApp number is not working, because just recently I shifted from Dubai to here. In next 2-3 days, this number will be up and running, so you can connect with me in the WhatsApp. And I will also, create a group for this batch with this WhatsApp number, so you can everyone can reach. 1 second, let me see. I think. I think Jahir also joined. Hi Jahir, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Jahir. How are you?
Good morning. How are you? Sorry, Venkat. Today Friday. Now I slept actually.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll just finish within 30 to 40 minutes. Just high level introduction without giving today. I'm just
early.
just now.
Just now. Okay.
Not early. Just not started. Just about to start, and you joined. You joined at the right time. I'm just recording this call, Jahir, just to provide the recording to the students. Okay.
Yeah.
Just informing you that I'm recording so that everyone will be aware of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They have given introduction, right?
Yes, they have given introduction. I discussed with them already.
Okay, no problem. Then you carry on, please.
Okay, I just started discussing about my career, Jahir. I have around 14 years experience and 5 years in automation area. I worked on UiPath and Blue Prism tools, and UiPath and Blue Prism both I have around 5 years of experience. The remaining 10 years experience, including other ETL reporting and some metadata migration tools and reporting tools as well. Okay. Out of which 5 years in automation. And this is my email ID. At any point of time, you can contact me and venkat.rpa.ai@gmail.com. And this is the WhatsApp number. Earlier, this is the WhatsApp number for all RPA trainings. Recently, I shifted from UAE to India, so this number will be up and running in next few days. And I will be creating WhatsApp group also for all of us for this batch.
Good. Okay. Yeah, good. I think WhatsApp group is better for us.
Yeah, better for us. For any questions to discuss or any open points or any training related things, we can discuss in WhatsApp group. Okay.
Yes. Good.
Because most of them are new to industry, so I just wanted to talk about this. What is RPA?
RPA, they are all one is final year, another one just finished. All the just a new graduate, so just you need to take care of them.
Definitely.
Fine, no problem.
Okay. RPA is nothing but robotic process automation. Okay. Generally, people will think robot is nothing but a physical robot or what it is, but the robot what we are going to discuss is software robot. Okay. Software robot is nothing but there will be a service in Windows operating system, and that service will take care of running all the the activities which we build as a workflow. Okay. This RPA software robot will it acts like a human. Whatever the human is doing, those steps will be converting into a workflow, and then that workflow will be given to a robot, which is a robot service running on OS system, and that robot service will take care of the steps we define in the workflow, and then it executes. Okay, that is the manual activities which human is performing. And other way around is there might be some automations built based on Java code or the Oracle PLSQL or shell scripting, any other skills. Those activities will also be performed by robots. So okay, that means robot is nothing but it's not just like a human, like some other softwares, doing some activities. Those activities will also be carried out by these RPA robots. Okay, so I just mentioned a couple of features of RPA. It's not limited to these features. There are some additional features also came in recent updates. We have centralized repository of version control, execution logs, and credentials. All of our the recent latest RPA tools have centralized repository wherein you can develop your process and you can deploy the process and you can take the deployed process and you can modify and you can maintain that in a version control system like the SVN, and execution logs also you can operate through a centralized process called Orchestrator, and the credentials also can maintain in an encrypted manner. And the most important thing for robots is security. In the initial days of this 2016-17, most of the business customers were worrying about the security, how the credentials will be stored and how the credential will be managed by the robot. And the robot can take the credential, it can perform anything. Those kind of controlling things, business users used to ask, and they are ready. They're not ready to give automations to robot automations, earlier. But if you see the latest RPA tools are matured enough and all the credentials are getting stored in a secured manner. And the next feature is large group deployment. Basically, whatever the workflows you develop, okay, the multiple process can be deployed at any time, and single process can also be deployed, and this deployment process is also there in a centralized manner. And the next one is the rule-based exception handling. And because you already doing some codings like C or C++ or code Java, those exceptions are different, and the way we handle in RPA is different, and the rule-based exception handling is also there. And whatever the steps you included in the process, in the next slides I'll talk about what is process and what is workflow. Workflow is nothing but a set of steps you include and then you put into a process and you wrap into a package, and that package will be executed by the robot. That robot triggers will happen through job scheduling and triggers, and that feature is also there in most of the recent updated RPAs. Yeah, go ahead, Sunas.
Actually, your voice is breaking a lot.
Oh, is it clear now?
No, sometimes it's clear, but when you're explaining, it breaks a lot.
Oh, okay. I think
maybe Venkat, you are as usual fast, yeah. That's why you are fast.
Okay,
maybe
I'll go a
you are
little
going
bit
fast,
Yeah.
maybe they're all new to the market. You give us some slow.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, this job schedules is nothing but the sequence of steps you build into a workflow. Okay, that workflow is called a sequence of steps, and that is given to a robot, and someone has to come and tell to robot that to execute the steps. So that place is called triggers. Okay, this triggers is basically to run the jobs through the robots. And the next one is release environments. What is an environment? Like the moment when you develop a process, where you'll put that process, you'll put that process into a development environment. You'll develop there and then you will test it there. Okay. Once it is tested, what you will do, you will move that to a testing environment so that all the functionality is working as is. Once the testing is done, then what you will do, you will move to production. That kind of release environment is also there in the RPA process. And the next feature is very important. One is work queues. And this work queues is basically you have thousands of transactions to perform. Transactions is nothing but not only banking transaction or sequence of steps, a sequence of accounts to process. And those accounts you can keep into one queue, and then robot will take that queue items and process it. So these are the high level features of an RPA. If you have any questions in between, you can stop me and ask if I'm going fast. Any questions around here? Okay. So there are a couple of benefits over using this robot processes. So you may not be able to understand completely all these the benefits, but at the end of the day, once you able to develop the process and once you able to execute them, you will understand the benefits of it. These are the high level benefits I kept here, like the industry might expect the process to be performed on 24/7, or industry the business customers might expect cost reduction, and they wanted to see some insights and analytics, like every day how many transactions robot is doing, and how the robot is performing, how the robot is failing, or how the robot is making success. Those kind of things you can see out of the robot benefits. Okay, this is very interesting slide. This slide is prepared bit around 2 years back. Okay, these are the tools in the industry for RPA. Okay, the first one is UiPath, and the second one is Blue Prism. Third one is Automation Anywhere, and fourth one is Workfusion. These are the most used tools in the market. Earlier, if you see, Blue Prism automation tools were the very large tools, and I mean in the industry usage wise very large. And if you see now, the UiPath is the best tool in the market, and ratings also you can see the functionality and technology wise. If you see in the market now, 80% of automations being implemented in UiPath. Earlier, Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism were 80%, 90%. Now UiPath is crossed that 80%, 90% of Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism. Okay. If you see the standards technology wise, like the rating given in the forums is 3.25 is for bot development and core functions. Core functions is nothing but the way how the robot functions, the success rate and failure rate. Based on that, the ratings has been given, and you can see for the remaining how the robots is managing, and the analytics wise, architecture wise, how the rating is given. This slide is just to tell you which tool is best in the market, nothing other than that. Shehnaaz, the voice is okay now or still breaking?
Now it's okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, so this is the latest slide from Peak Matrix I have taken recently from Google, and you can see who are the leaders in the RPA tools. So UiPath is the best one, which is leaders, and the second one major is the if you see the major Microsoft tools are there, and leaders UiPath tool is there, Automation Anywhere is there, Blue Prism is there, and Nice tools. So they are the major tools in the market, and I will talk completely about UiPath in this sessions, and the Automation Anywhere also at high level I will teach, not completely. Okay, so RPA implementation. So you can see what are industry domains using the HR services. There are a couple of HR services also I mentioned here. The robot automations will be used in HR services, supply chain, the finance and accounting, IT services, and other areas as well. Okay. What is the purpose of using automation? What process should I automate and what process should I not automate? And those, some metrics I mentioned here just to make you understand, what all areas to use in this RPA tools. Highly manual and repetitive processes. In that area, any area like the call centers or the BPO centers, and there might be 50 team members doing certain activities, and they have some documentation and steps is defined there, and those steps they perform every day morning to evening. Okay, and the shifts also will be there, morning couple of team members and evening couple of team members, night couple of team members, like that. Those kind of manual activities, if you put one robot process for those steps, and the robot will take the steps and perform 24/7. Okay, and with the accuracy and with speed and high volumes of data also, it will process with, rather than having multiple people in the team. And challenging is in the market, very difficult to get the candidates to in the BPO areas. And when even if you recruit a person, that person may not be longer and he may leave, and then another person you have to recruit. Recruitment challenge is also there. Okay, to avoid those kind of things, we can automate the processes repetitive areas. And the second one is process with standard readable electronic input type. If any applications person is reading and doing something, and then open another application and add something to that application, and the user may access database and run some select queries, take the data and then put into some portals. These kind of activities also will be automated by robot process. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, no worries. Now, till now we talked very generic way about the RPA tools. Now I'll come to the UiPath tool. Okay. UiPath tool is divided into three areas. The first one is UiPath Studio. The second one is UiPath Orchestrator, and the third one is UiPath Robot. Okay. The steps what you are doing on daily basis, and those steps should be kept somewhere, and then you have to give those steps to a robot to execute. Okay, those steps, the sequence of steps, like opening the application, or enter data into an application, or open application, Excel application, take the data from Excel sheet and do entry into an application, other portal. Those kind of steps are there, right? Those kind of steps you can make it as a process in using UiPath Studio. UiPath Studio is a tool where you can use couple of activities to perform like human. Okay, those steps will be built as a workflow. It is like Visio diagram workflow. Okay, and those workflow activities will be there in activities panel. You just drag it and then you build that process based on how human is performing. Okay, this is one example. Once you develop that process in UiPath Studio, that process you have to give it to a robot to execute on certain intervals. How you will do that? There is a centralized web portal called UiPath Orchestrator. That centralized orchestrator is a bridge between your UiPath Studio steps and the robot. Okay. And once you develop all the steps as a workflow, that workflow will be deployed to a web portal called UiPath Orchestrator. And then that UiPath Orchestrator has some components to trigger a process to a robot, so that robot will execute the steps mentioned in the UiPath Studio. Okay. If you see here, UiPath Orchestrator, if you see enterprise architecture server platform, it is a web-based portal, and this portal basically is a centralized scheduling and queue management is there. Whatever the transactions or the accounts in Excel file, okay, those Excel file, how human will perform, human will take each and every row, and then he will open a portal, and then he will enter into a portal and then submit. There are certain steps in it. Those steps will be automated using UiPath Studio. And once you develop it, you click on a publish button called publish, and that will be converted into a package, and that package will be deployed into your UiPath Orchestrator here. Once it is deployed, there are different ways to trigger the workflow to a robot. Okay, the robot can be triggered in multiple ways. Okay, that can be triggered through Orchestrator, or even when you are developing a process, that process can be executed through Studio also. And the robot will execute the steps whatever you develop in Studio. That is one way. That is when you are developing. Once you develop and deployed into UAT or production environment, Orchestrator triggers has to take care of the execution of the robots. Okay, and other way is there is an UiPath agent. Okay, we'll discuss those things in further classes anyway. I'm just giving high level architecture of UiPath, how it works. Okay, the robot will take and perform all the steps what you are given. How robot will perform is like how human will log into system. The similar way robot will also log into system. Similarly, how human, after opening the system, what human will do? You will open Excel sheet. Similarly, robot will also open Excel sheet, because you mentioned those steps in the UiPath Studio workflow. Okay. Similarly, it will open a portal. It's like how human is logging into system, logging into application, performing steps into portal. The same steps will be performed by robot, whatever you build in the studio. Okay. This is the picture of UiPath Studio. Okay, and Studio has couple of modules here, like the project. You can see here the project here. This is the place where you will create the workflows, and the workflow steps you will build here in the design window here. Okay, and the activities you can see in the activities tab, where click on left click or right click or open portal, those kind of activities you will see in the activities here. And similarly, other concepts also here we will discuss in further classes while developing POCs in each class. Okay. Once you develop the process, you will click on the publish. That's where the workflow what you develop will go and sit in the orchestrator here in the previous, as shown in the previous slide, orchestrator. Okay. Once you deploy in the orchestrator, you will deploy, you will assign that process to specific robots, and that robots will be configured under robot tab here in the orchestrator. Okay. So once you deploy the process will come and sit in the process tab, and the triggers will tell you when the robot has to be executed your process, and that executed process will be under jobs here. Any questions? If no questions, I'll go to next slides to talk about the digital transformation kind of things. Snehas, Jay, any questions?
Fine, but I want to listen from others. I think
because this
no
is the
question.
first class, because I'm expecting some questions so that I can understand, in what level they're expecting.
There is no question, meaning there's two possibilities. Either they don't understand
anything,
anything,
not understanding,
or they understood very well.
I think most chances are
they
for not understanding.
Well.
Because the thing is, every class, Jahir, how I will take is, I will take one POC. Okay, step by step activity. I will develop some processes. Okay, and then I'll give some assignments on every day. Okay, in that way they will understand. Okay, because this RPA tools also, they don't know what it is, and it's very difficult for them to make understand in one class. And day to day, I will see one or two classes how they will understand, and I will give some assessments to them. Whether they are performing or not, one-to-one discussions also I will make it, and then I will make them comfortable.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
And definitely, I think you may have basic questions, Jahid. They may have some basic questions now because they don't know what is RPA, because we are industry experts, so we know what it is. But they don't know because they just know C++ or Java or PLSQL or SQL queries kind of things. But working tools in the market, they may not aware of it. But even it's okay. Basic questions also you can ask. That's okay. You can proceed. I can answer.
Don't hesitate. See, even if it's basic, it's okay. Don't hesitate to ask.
That's why we are here.
Yes. Okay, then if there's no question, let's proceed now. Then we will see how it is. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so I think that this is not completely about RPA tool, like like how journey of digital operations in industry. So before you go and talk about some AI or the artificial intelligence or data science or NLPs, the data input is given. There are some scenarios where data input is given from RPA to your cognitive tools. Okay. Earlier in the world, in the earlier years, like 2016-17, RPA tools are not matured. Okay, now if you see the most of tools like even Automation Anywhere or UiPath, okay, these tools are even mature to AI tools level. Okay, in the 2021 version is not released in the UiPath yet, but there are so many AI related concepts as given, sentiment analysis related, some cognitive related features has come. Okay, that is not yet released, but I will show you some couple of things in in this sessions itself. Somewhere Once you are comfortable with the RPA, then I will show a couple of other things to make you understand later stage, not now. If I tell everything, definitely you'll be confused and what is RPA, what is AI and all. Definitely as part of your academics, you might have seen some AI related things or automation related things, but in industry it is a little bit different. Definitely you will understand those things in coming classes. Okay. If you see here, 60% of enterprise process activities are done in robotic process automation as part of digital operations. Okay. I just mentioned, UiPath and Blue Prism, and even Automation Anywhere is also a good tool as an example I can take, because in earlier batches I taught only UiPath and Blue Prism, so I mentioned UiPath and Blue Prism here. But Automation Anywhere is also there in this place now. Cognitive tools earlier, these RPA tools are not cognitive intelligence, but now RPA tools are becoming cognitive RPA tools like UiPath, Automation Anywhere are good, but Blue Prism is not in that mature level. Okay, the 15% of digital operations work is there in cognitive area. 60% of automation work is there in the digital area is in RPA tools, and the remaining 15%, 60 to 75% over, and remaining 25% is there in chatbots and artificial intelligence tools. Like we have chatbots like IBM Watson chatbot is there, Conversable is there, Coro is there, and those kind of tools are taking around 15% of digital operations work. And the remaining 10% of 90% is over, 60 plus 15, 15, 90% over, and the remaining 10% is in artificial intelligence tools. AlphaGo and Watson is, in chatbots also there, and artificial intelligence also there. Both the places you can keep. So this is the high level, overview of how much percentage of work is there in automation side, and how much work is there in the cognitive and chatbots, and how much work is there in artificial intelligence. So now we are discussing about the 60% of work in automations. Okay. As part of my training, okay, I will be covering around 25. Based on your need or based on your additional questions, it may go to 30 classes also for UiPath. I have planned for a couple of POCs. My every class is practical. It's not theoretical. Not only theoretical, it's practical also. I will explain about the concept first, the first 10-15 minutes. And the remaining 30-45 minutes, I will do one POC for every class. Okay, so that you'll have a practical experience. So that how the software industry people are developing the RPA automations. Similarly, I will also develop automations, and then I will show you. Once I do the automation in front of you in the class, and then I will give additional activities weekly. Okay, I'll give one activity today, and then after 2-3 days you'll come up with that activity, and then you may come up and ask some questions, and you may not be able to perform sometimes. You may be doing well than what I did, and then you may come up with some additional questions. Those kind of discussions also I'll spend every day 10-15 minutes in the first quarter of the hour. Okay, that is how the classes will be. So in the 25 classes, some programmatic concepts I'll explain, some desktop application automations I will explain, some data migration or data entry related POCs I will do, integration and data consolidations of the automations I will do, the manual activities automations. Like that, I mentioned a couple of activities here. For each activity, multiple POCs will be there. Okay, and that POC will be recorded, and that recorded session will be given to you through YouTube channel. Okay, and that YouTube channel access will be given forever, and you can listen that class forever at any time, at any month, and even 2-3 years later also you can listen. And in later classes also, in the next batch, if any class is going on with free of cost, you can join, no problem, no need to give anything. Okay, and in addition to these 25 classes, I will also be giving one additional tool. Okay, earlier I used to give 15 to 20 classes Blue Prism with additional thing, but now I'll go with Automation Anywhere, because Automation Anywhere is good in the market. So I will consider Automation Anywhere. That 5 to 10 classes I will cover at last. Okay, in addition to these POCs, I will also teach about the interview questions, like how the interviewers will ask questions. For that questions, how you have to be prepared, what kind of POCs you have to do, those kind of support also I will do. Once you get job, if you have any doubts, while after joining the job, while performing something, you can call me at any time, I can help. Well, Jahir, if any questions, please proceed.
I think I just want to highlight here. I think you can create your own account in the UiPath website, and you can create your own lab also. Correct? They can practice it.
Basically, UiPath is like, it's a community edition is there, Jahir.
Yeah.
It's lifelong community edition is there. I will
Yeah.
prepare one document, how to register and how to install the UiPath Studio and how to install the orchestrator as well. So they can proceed and they
Yeah.
can do. And whatever the activity
Yeah.
I'm doing, I'm doing in my system, the same activity, because I'm giving the recording also to them, it is
Okay.
easy for
Good.
them to perform same thing in their system also.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
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 So
That's fine.
that is
Yeah.
there.
I'm. Yeah. I'm okay with
because
that. Yeah. No
because
issue.
definitely I think maybe because you are new to industry, maybe you're confused with totally, what is RP and all. Just generic information
Yeah.
I given today. Don't worry about, these many things are there in RPA, or do we need to write any code, or whether we can do it or not. Don't worry about all these things. Definitely I will help you. I will do a POC for each class, and definitely you will be aware of it, and then you will be interested in it. Any questions, even basic questions also, you can proceed, no problem. I think before you all join, Sehnas asked some questions. I answered, Jahir, this kind of questions. I think other people, if you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
any questions, please proceed.
I don't know. They're not Nisat and Jahid. You ask anything, no problem. See, we are here to understand something, to gain something from this training. Okay, whatever, even the basic question, don't feel bad. You ask whatever you have it.
Yeah, Venkat. I have
Okay, okay, Nisat, Jahid.